Hi everyone, my name is Cherie and I'm going to be presenting this poster about change in teen dating violence prevalence before and after COVID-19 using the Youth Risk Behavioral System survey data from 2019 and then their most recent survey data that was just released from 2021. Madeline and I chose to do this study because we had been looking into the literature about teen dating violence and had saw that there was literature talking about intimate partner violence in general increasing during the pandemic and during lockdowns. And we didn't see a lot of studies looking at whether severity in victimization and IPV, and specifically teen dating violence, TDV, also increased or changed at all before and after the pandemic. So we wanted to look at data from 2019 and then look at data from 2021 and see what the prevalence was in 2019, what it was in 2021, and see if there was a change at all, and if there was, how severe of a change it was. So we collected data from Yearbus 2019 and 2021, and we calculated weighted prevalence and 95% confidence intervals for the outcomes that we were looking at, which were specifically experienced any from 1 to 6 or more incidents of physical dating violence and 1 to 6 or more instances of experiencing sexual dating violence. So after our analysis, we found that while the overall my face was glitching. While the overall population of students who were dating in the United States decreased significantly from 2019 to 2021, the rates of sexual teen dating violence significantly increased from 8.20% in 2019 to 9.7, almost 10% in 2021. And that increase was significant. We also found that rates of physical teen dating violence rose slightly, but that the change across years was not significant. We also found that for female students, there was an even greater increase in sexual teen dating violence. My face is just glitching so much. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh no. Oh. Okay. Anyways, so while the overall prevalence for teen dating violence in 2019 was 8.2%, for female students it was actually almost 5 percentage points higher. And for female students, the rate was about 10% higher than it was for male students. 12.61% in 2019, and then 3.8% for male students in 2019. And then while it increased for both male and female students, you can see in the graph at the bottom there, in the middle bottom, it increased quite a bit more for female students, and the increase across years was also significant. And then we also looked at change in rates of sexual teen dating violence for different population groups. We looked at gender, like I just talked about, and then we also looked at race and students' sex of sexual contacts. So for students who had sex before, what the sex of their partners would be, either opposite sex only, both sexes, or same sex only. And we found that the TDV rates decreased for students who had never had sex and whose sexual contacts were same sex only, but that they increased for students whose sexual contacts were opposite sex only or both sexes. And we actually found the highest rates of sexual teen dating violence among the population of students whose sexual contacts included both sexes. So going over to our takeaways from these results, our findings showed that there was a notable decrease in overall teen dating, but that was coupled with a significant and pronounced increase in sexual teen dating violence, a rise that was even more pronounced in female students. And while our results are correlational in nature and can't be taken as proof that the pandemic caused an increase in teen dating violence, the results are significant, and they do show that the effects of the pandemic were complicated, and that that there's a good chance that increased lockdowns and more time at home put students, especially female students, at an increased risk of experiencing sexual violence from their dating partner. And then in our conclusion, there's also just some bullet points talking about the different rates and how they change for different population groups. Like, for example, we found, in line with current literature, that shows that LGBTQIA plus students are disproportionately victimized population for sexual and physical intimate partner violence, and specifically teen dating violence. We found that the rates of sexual teen dating violence were highest for students who sexual contacts were both sexes. And the sexual identity question that was introduced in the 2021 survey wasn't used in the 2019 survey, and so we weren't able to look at the change across students of different gender identifications because that data wasn't collected in 2019. But for the data for 2023, when that's released, that'll be something interesting to look at, to compare as we're moving out farther from COVID-19, how the pandemic's effects have persisted or hopefully gone away. And my face is kind of covering up that last bullet point, but we wrote that while the effects of the pandemic are still not fully known, in addition to that, the exact causative factors for the changes in these prevalent rates are unclear. And one potential avenue for future research could be looking into the rise in increasingly misogynistic language on the internet and seeing if that also is correlated with an increase in teen dating violence and increased sexual teen dating violence among students in the United States. So, thank you very much, and I think I've talked for long enough. Okay.